From Las Vegas, Sandy Kastel and friends.
Hi, and good morning. This is Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. This is... I changed this. How come this didn't change? It is Wednesday, August 13th on KLAV 1230 AM. And our special guest today, we have an author calling in of Ghostly Shade of Pale. His name is Merle Temple. He's going to be calling in a few minutes. We have attorney at law, Tony May.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's all those Mormon friends out there clapping.
And we have the Vegas Unwrapped team of Ricky Cash and Aaron Phillips with their hidden treasures.
Oh, Joseph's best.
So we're having a fabulous day. And, of course, Chef Michael. And today is my golf day. Can you see I'm all dressed up in my golf attire?
Yeah,
and I'll be playing with the ladies at Canyon Gate Country Club today as part of my Staying Fit and Fabulous Forever program. Yes, and if you're interested in being part of my Staying Fit and Fabulous Forever program, please contact me at 702-348-5707. That's 348-5707, or email me at stayfitandfabulousforever@gmail.com. Stay fit and fabulous forever at gmail.com. So, Chef Michael.
Yeah, what's up, girl?
Do you have a special recipe for us today?
Yeah, how to make Irish stew.
Irish stew? Oh, good one for me.
No, I'm only teasing you.
Oh,
Well, you want a recipe?
You got my hopes up.
Tony May's here, Sandy, our attorney, and I love.
Is he a recipe?
Tony, let me tell you something. I always talked about Tony May. It's such a great honor to have Tony with you. You know, the greatest line in The Godfather 3, and I say this all the time, when Michael, the kid, the illegitimate nephew of Sonny,
somebody else.
He said, "Uncle Mike, you want me to whack this guy for you?" He said, "No, I don't need no tough guys. I need more lawyers." And let me tell you something. Tony May, to me, is not only a wonderful individual, a great... Thank you very much. Thank you very much. He is the concierge. And my people said, "Mike, he's a Mormon." I said, "That's the guy you want."
He doesn't.
You don't want a guy named Antonio Endolini represent you. You don't have a Chinaman's chance in hell. Let me tell you something. But Tony May is the greatest. Tony, let me ask you a question. If you're sitting in an Italian restaurant and you open up a menu, there's always something special you would like. What would you order?
What would I order in an Italian restaurant?
Lox and bagels. No, I'm only kidding.
I would probably get some kind of a linguine with white sauce or
a linguine white clam.
Yeah.
Thank you for the recipe. This is how you make it, Tony. This is why I led you into that. You go to Smith's. Now, I was just with Tom Stunick, the general manager today, and Tom is the best of the best. I love Tommy, and I thanked him for being one of our number one sponsors. And he said, "How's Sandy doing?" I said, "She's doing terrific." Is she still using the credit cards? I said, "Yes, she is." So anyway, you go down to Smith's aisle 4, and they got the cans and a clam. Cans and a clam.
Cans and a clam. What were you doing late last night?
Clams in a can. I'm
you
sorry.
must have been out with the Grossos.
The Grossos, the billionaires.
And you must have been eating over at that restaurant.
Kastel,
what is the name of that? Omaha? It's not
a sushi joint. It's a place.
I do have the card. I'll
get
look
the
for
card.
It.
Yeah, Tony, I want to take you there.
We went and had the not teppanyaki, but we had the cooking table, hibachi.
The hibachi table, and I used to go to Benihana's. This place.
You must have been drinking sake.
No, you polished a few bottles off. So the thing was.
Where is that card?
Get the card. The food was great. Anyway, let me get back to the recipe
because
I got the people with their pens out, and I'm going to get all kinds of calls from corporate, and then Tony's going to send a letter. Okay. This is what you do. You go down, you go to Smith's, and you get yourself the clam juice. Now this is for 4 people. 5 cans of clams, 1 bottle of clam juice.
Wow.
You get your onion and garlic.
It's a lot of clams.
It's not that much in there. I want to tell you the truth. And you keep the juice. You don't strain it.
Okay.
And once your garlic is nice and brown, you throw in your wonderful, delicious clams in the juice. Then you add your parsley, a little bit of salt, black pepper, okay, and then a little bit of butter. Believe it or not, a little bit of butter and sherry wine. Not this cream sherry, Tony, because you Mormons don't drink. But if you don't want the sherry, then you can.
Does that mean you
that's
can't have
optional.
anything in
No.
cooking items either?
No, the
right?
alcohol
Yeah.
burns off.
It burns off, so it's okay, right?
Just leaves the
Yeah,
flavor.
but Tony, you took a gallon of Everclear. That doesn't. So what you do is you put that in there, and then let it come to a boil, and you tighten it up with a little bit of Wonder, which I always use, and you pour it over a pound of linguine. Ladies and gentlemen, it takes you precisely 5 minutes to make this linguine white clam sauce. It is absolutely delicious. And Tony, you know I love you, and I know that you're slimming down. You're looking great. You look more like Brad Pitt every
You must
time
not
I
be
see
eating
you.
Chef Michael's food.
I feel good with these guys. We're all bold. This is good. Everything. What are you laughing about?
Except for Ryan.
Ryan. Oh, then we got John
Styles.
Styles. John Styles. I love John.
Get a picture of this kid with all his hair. See?
Look at the hair this kid got.
Oh, look at it. Yes. Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan. Good to see you. Don't worry, kid. How old are you? 22? Yeah, you'll drop it in about another 3 years.
Listen, Michael,
Yes,
we've got
honey.
our guest on the phone.
Who?
It's Merle Temple.
Not Merle Temple.
And he's the author of A Ghostly Shade of Pale.
I'm scared.
Yeah, and Merle Temple. Hi, Merle. How are you?
Oh, great. I love the reference to Brad Pitt. I look just like him about 20 years ago.
Yeah, I noticed in your photo, just like him. A little older, though. A little grayer, but, kind of like him. So tell us about your book. I know that, this was something new for you. You're retired, and all of a sudden, you write a book, and you're like, surprise, it's getting interest, it's getting popular. So tell us about this. How did you get started on this?
Well, it's been quite the fairy tale experience for a retired guy in his mid-60s. But I'd
You're
written
still
a lot.
young.
Well, it's getting younger and younger.
That's
I
right.
told somebody the other day, it's amazing how you keep pushing that definition of old out.
That's right. 60 is the new 40 or 30,
right,
depending
yeah.
on where you're at.
Well, people told me, they said, you have a gift for writing. You should try the great American novel. And so I thought, well, as I retired, I would try that. And I found out it's pretty hard. But I was self-taught, worked at this first book a long time. And lo and behold, when it came out, we found that people actually really loved it. And I'd sent an advance copy out to Jim Clemente at Criminal Minds. He's a writer-producer out there, and asked him if he would read it for me because I knew his cousin. And so he agreed to, and he said they were really busy. We were in production, might take a bit. And so 2 or 3 months went by, and finally one day it popped up in my inbox, and I said, well, here it comes. I said, he's going to say, why did you waste my time with this dribble?
Right.
And didn't give up your day job, did you? And but when I opened it, he said, I'm not quite through. Been very busy, so apologize. He said, just want to stop, though, and tell you, he said, you're not only a great writer, you're a great writer of American literature.
Well, you received your BPA and Masters of Criminal Justice in what is it called? Ole Miss? Is it Oklahoma? Or what is that?
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. Okay. And you were in your first captain in the Bureau of Narcotics in the 70s, class president in the New England Institute of Management, and a graduate of DEA Academy in Washington during the early days of President Nixon's first drug wars. And he was held hostage while working undercover. He later met men hired by organized crime to kill him in a standoff near Memphis, and was involved in a gun battle with drug dealers and a heroin deal gone sour. And he was an internal affairs investigator of a plan to corrupt the MBN.
Oh.
So this guy is like no lightweight. Okay?
Oh, yeah,
You've got
no
a lot
light-
of experience. So when you thought about writing your book, you took from your own experiences?
Right. I plan to write a trilogy over the span of my life, 3 or 4 lives in one, and to write them as fiction, but drawn from real life experiences. And so the first one is A Ghostly Shade of Pale, and that does chronicle Michael, based on me, when he leaves Ole Miss in the early 70s and goes into the first drug wars, and as an agent when there weren't very many agents, and we were all kind of making it up as we went along, kind of flying by the seat of our pants. And if you got in trouble undercover, especially in the early days, the cavalry was not coming because there was no cavalry.
Well, Grisham, took from his experience also. Have you been compared to him at all in your writing?
I have. We've had a lot of people compare us to Grisham, and we launched our book here at the Gumtree bookstore here in Tupelo, Mississippi, where Grisham began. And the man there who owns that store, who's about 90 now, and is a real icon in this part of the world, he publicly compared Ghostly to Time to Kill.
A Time to Kill. Wow, that's a heavy endorsement. So I've got a lot of guys sitting here, and they might want to ask you some questions too. Because Rick, Chef Michael, you may want to ask, something.
Was it any of my people that you locked up? That's all I want to know. Because no, I'm only teasing you. I always admire any kind of an author. And when you go through what you go through, it's nice to have people out there like yourself that makes a statement, that tries to do the right thing, which is great. And that's why today I have my personal attorney here to talk about everything he wants to talk about. I don't know what the hell he wants to talk about, but I know I went to the school of Mezza Mata, and it was right across the street from Our Lady of Aggravation. And
I said, did you have a question?
I'm a comedian, honey. What do you want from my the question is, as long as you didn't lock up my people.
I thought maybe you would ask him if he writes about any kind of Italian restaurants that he goes into.
No, he wouldn't do that. I don't think he would write about it. He's not an Italian critic on food.
Well, I did have once. I had lunch. We were in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and at the table next to us, there were three gentlemen there, and somebody leaned over and said, "Do you know who that is eating next to you? Don't you?" And I said, "No." He said, "That's Joe Marcella, the underboss of the mafia crime family out in New Orleans, and his soldiers." So,
were you nervous?
Oh no, I was actually very curious.
You should have ordered the Veer, Marcella, made him feel at home.
Well, I will tell you that speaking of food, I was listening to you, and about 7-8 weeks ago, I dined on Mississippi Fare. I had fried catfish, fried okra, and slaw with Morgan Freeman.
Great actor.
So you know what? So tell us. You've got this other book that you've got coming up called A Rented World. Now, you said that this is based on events in the Bell system and politics.
Yeah, when I left law enforcement because I was at odds with a corrupt governor, the Bell system offered me a job to be a security manager, and I went there and then got involved in high-level politics, worked in presidential campaigns and many campaigns, and probably wasn't the smartest thing I ever did, and I wouldn't recommend it necessarily, but I did get to meet a lot of people. I had a lot of adventures and misadventures, and it's all great fodder for a novelist in his old age.
So, Tony, do you have any questions for him about, maybe his experiences with attorneys and stuff?
Well, I have a question about, like, when you went to write your book. I mean, do you sit down and, like, do some kind of an outline, or do you just kind of write and just see where it takes you?
No, I have kind of a general outline. Of course, it's all based on memory. In my case, all three of these books will be drawn from memory. So when I looked at A Ghostly Shade of Pale, which the title was inspired, I'm a huge music fan and have a million song lyrics in my head. And so I drew that title from A Whiter Shade of Pale.
Oh, yeah.
And because the villain in this book, who people write me from all over the world and tell me that he gives them nightmares when they read about him, he's a psychopath, but he also suffers from albinism. So he is a ghostly shade of pale. And so I just did that. I stuck with that title from the beginning, did a loose outline, and then just came back and began to work and fill in from start to finish. And when I did finish the first draft, actually I really hated it. I thought it was flat and lifeless, and of course you just get sick of it because you write and rewrite so much. And I let it sit for a while. Then I came back.
Well, writers do that too. I mean, songwriters and stuff, they have to leave it alone for a while, and then come back to it, because sometimes when you first write it, you just let it come out, and then you have to go back and be a little bit of the critic, and obviously you work with an editor. But I want to talk a lot about that in a few minutes. We've got to take a quick break, and if you're just tuning in, you're listening to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. And today we're also talking with Merle Temple, the author of A Ghostly Shade of Pale, and we have Tony May, attorney at law, and we have the Vegas Unwrapped team of Ricky Cash and Aaron Phillips with us here, and they're going to share their secrets, hidden treasures.
Now I'm longing to see.
This is Chef Michael. You know, Sandy, when you talk about civil law, there's only one guy, and he is the best.
That is Tony May at 702-388-0404.
One thing about that guy, you'll never go wrong.
That's 702-388-0404.
Hi, I'm singer-musician Tommy Ward, and I loved being on the Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. Keep tuning in.
Finally, a radio show that's fun. This is Sandy Kastel and Friends. Here again, your host, Sandy Kastel.
Hi. Hi. You know, we had that little hi there, and I thought that was really high. Cute. Anyway, I sound like a little girl or something. Hi, Chef Michael. How are you?
How you doing? Let's get back to that guy on the phone.
I know. I am going to do that. Merle, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Come on, Merle, wake up, buddy.
All right, now, unfortunately, I didn't get the link soon enough, or I didn't see the link soon enough to read through the whole book. So I started reading it. But I wanted to ask, when you put this book together, did you think about having a love interest in it? You know, are you doing that kind of dynamic in your books?
Yeah, there's a powerful love story, an essential love story behind the crime story and the mystery thriller and conspiracy and geopolitics and so many threads in this book. And women actually give us our best reviews. Women love this book. And before I forget, I want to say hello to my friends in Henderson. We signed at the Barnes & Noble out there. Hi, Debbie, the CRM. We set a record for author sales and an author signing there at the Barnes & Noble store.
Wow, congratulations. That's wonderful. You know, it's a big plus, you know, when you get people behind you, supporting your book. Now, did the editor that you worked with, how was that?
She was great, and I would have to say, sadly, she just passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
She won't get to do her book too, but she was so good to me. She was a professional, but after she read through Ghostly and worked with us, she privately told her friends, other editors and writers, because she was a writer herself, that it was the best book she'd edited in 25 years.
Oh, my gosh.
Let me ask you a question. Are you calling from Las Vegas?
No, I'm
in Tupelo, Mississippi.
Tupelo, Mississippi. I love Tupelo. I had a lasagna there once, years ago in Tupelo, and it wasn't bad, believe it or not.
Yeah, well, this is the home of Elvis, and we're all big Elvis fans here.
Marvelous.
Big Elvis fans. Well, you know, we've got a lot of Elvises here, that's for sure. Ricky, you've got a question to ask?
No, I was just saying that when Chef Michael asked him where he was in Tupelo, I just started writing to him Elvis in Tupelo.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I had that one.
Well, when I was in Hollywood on doing that tour and signing for the cast of Criminal Minds and Major Crimes and appearing on KKLA and on Media Mayhem in Beverly Hills, you would not believe how many times I was asked to say, thank you very much.
Well, you know, we got to bring you back again. You know, I'm sure that you got to call in again. We'd love to have you on the show one more time.
I'd love to be. If anybody interested in the book, they can get it at Amazon, or they can check out my website, and that's merletemple.com, MERLETEMPLE.com.
Right, and when are you planning to come to Las Vegas?
Well, we will be back, I think, in the spring when Book 2 is out and the weather allows. We'll drive across the country again because we've been invited back to Hollywood to see the gang out there and do more interviews. And so hopefully we'll swing up your way again. I got some great friends there in Las Vegas.
Well, Merle, how does it work when you're doing a trilogy and you've got this continuing the characters' lives? I mean, do you section off? I mean, because obviously, there's a lot of books out there like that too. Where they have a continuing character and it goes from book to book to book to book, and you have these new stories that keep coming. How does that work? How do you keep track of like the history of the characters?
Well, with a big, complex book with so many threads, as all of these will be, it's a daunting task at times to make all the threads arrive with integrity at the end of the book. The characters to say things consistent with what they would have said 300 pages before that, and all the nicknames, association, ages, places, times, all of that to arrive at the end and have integrity, I found is a pretty tricky process, but I've learned a lot, and I just love to write. I love words and to use words to uplift and edify, and we get the nicest notes from people all around the country and around the world about this book, thanking us for writing a book like this that could have been written, say, 80 years ago, and that people they kind of adopt the characters. Book clubs, I find, know more about the characters than I do sometimes, and they just really they love the characters and kind of adopt them and travel along with them. And sometimes they tell me they round a bend with Michael Parker and they bump into themselves from long ago, and they say, I didn't know anybody ever felt that way but me.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much for being on our show today. We really appreciate it. And again, you can find Merle Temple's book on Amazon.com and also at your website, right?
That's right. Yes, merletemple.com.
Okay.
And I appreciate y'all having me on, and look forward to eating with the chef out there one day.
I know. We'd love to have you come
Sounds
out and love to have you come and be on our TV show when we do that too. Okay?
Okay. Thanks, Sandy.
All right. Thank you and have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
What a nice guy. Wasn't he a nice
Very nice
gentleman?
guy,
Wasn't
yeah.
he a nice guy, Tony?
He was, definitely.
See how them guys real just laid back and how are you doing? They're just nice people.
It sounds like
Nice
he's had a
people.
lot of experience in his life.
Yeah, it was really great. And look at Aaron Phillips.
I know.
He's looking at me. Why are you looking at me, Aaron?
Just admiring your southern accent for an Italian. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Because tonight is the big night tonight.
Tonight
won't be like any night.
Oh
Tonight
my
is
gosh.
the big night, Tony, because Sandy and I, with Jimmy Melodor and Spider and
David DaCosta.
and my good buddy on piano, Chad Michaels, and the great Joey Vett, will be singing and performing with Giancarlo. That's I don't know why.
And Jacqueline.
And
Jackie.
Jacqueline.
Yes,
But,
yes.
when I see him, I say hi. Hi, John. He goes, my name is Giancarlo.
Giancarlo.
I'm in the bathroom. I go to the bathroom. He's next to me. He goes, my name is Giancarlo. I said, so what?
He loves the sound of his name.
Yeah, Giancarlo. But anyway, we're there tonight, and I got to tell you, thank God in heaven, we're sold out again.
I know.
But Ricky Cash and Aaron Phillips, my two Lanceman brothers, and for those who don't know what a Lanceman is, Tony, do you know what a Lanceman is?
I do not.
Tell them, guys.
Anyone who looks the same as you guys do.
No. No.
A landsman is a member of the tribe.
A member
Yes, a
of
fellow
the
Jew.
tribe.
A fellow Jew. A lanceman. I said to a young kid a few weeks ago, he's about in his 20s, are you a lanceman? And he says to me, what's a lanceman? And I said,
If you have to ask, you don't know.
no, well, it's a shame because the traditional, these kids today, I mean, when that was a time where
It's a younger generation.
They don't follow. How
By,
about
like,
you?
a few generations, yeah.
Didn't you follow the traditional? I know. I used to go to a friend of mine's house. He's long gone now for Passover.
Mm-hmm.
For 15 years, I never missed a Passover.
Did you ever miss it?
No, I never did.
Never did?
For 15 years, I went to his
Wow.
house, and I had the yarmulke, and we would read from the book. And I'm going to tell you something. It's such a beautiful tradition from the Old Testament to the New Testament. And all the religions are great. You know what I'm trying to say? They're all good. Everybody's going to heaven. Who ain't going? Nobody's going to hell. Everybody's going to heaven. Only me. I always thought Italian
They're
people.
coming back as something.
Italian people are the only people that go to heaven. Napolitans, calabrese, and brutzes. Everybody goes to heaven. Hey, Joey Vespi, I thought you were working.
Well, anyway, I know, Aaron, you were going to say something.
No, I was just going to mention to Chef Michael Michael's question, I was actually raised Orthodox. And coming out here to Vegas, where the traditions were a little slower in the Jewish community, I actually hosted Passover Seders in my house. And I can run a Passover Seder, and I can do the shofar blowing during the holidays.
Now,
and all that
if
stuff.
you're Orthodox, then that means from Friday at, 6 o'clock and through...
From sundown to... Well, I was brought up that way, but I mean, now I'm more conservative.
You're more Americanized?
More modern.
Yeah, more modern.
Well, you know, Tony's a Mormon. Tony came to my house, Sandy and I home many times, at different events with us. And Tony, and I'll tell you, he's true to his faith. He will not drink. He'll have a Coke, if that. Is it a Coke or no?
It's Diet Coke.
Diet Coke, you know, because kind of
That's caffeine, though. That doesn't count as a coffee.
But Tony, and Tony's got about 14 kids. How many kids you got?
I have 5 kids.
He's got 5 kids.
5 is a lot.
5's a lot. And many times. Now, his partner, who is Bruce Willoughby, who I love, Big Bruce, he's not a Mormon.
That's correct.
And I took them out for dinner, right? I said, Tony, would you? And we took them to the
West Wing
Tuscany.
Cigar?
No,
the
Tuscany.
Tuscany.
Oh, it was
Tuscany
great.
Grill, yes.
You know, we went to the Tuscany.
my
We had a
gosh, we
beautiful.
love the
And I said,
Tuscany.
Tony, how about a glass of wine? And Tony, very respectfully, said, Mike, I don't drink. And Willoughby said, I'll take a barrel.
Very respectfully.
Bruce Willoughby, I know you're out there, buddy. We love you, and you're the greatest. And he's a good fan too.
Yeah.
You know, two of the. I'm so pleased to have 2 of the greatest attorneys. You know what I'm trying to say? Not only because they're lawyers, but they're great guys. They're good hearts.
Tony, you are a lawyer, but you know, you do civil law, right?
That's correct.
And you cover a lot of different areas. One of the areas is bankruptcy.
Yes.
But I know you also do other things. Tell us about some of the other things you do for people.
It's a ballerina. Okay.
No, I do some personal bankruptcy. Mostly, I just do it to help people. I don't do a lot of it, but you know, there's some firms that do a ton of bankruptcy, and it's just like more of a volume thing. So I keep it kind of low. We also do anything to do with construction, whether it's you're not getting paid, contractors. If you're an owner, they're having a problem with the contractor. A contractor having a problem with the general contractor. If you're having problems getting licenses or having problems with the state contractors board, we've pretty much done everything in that gamut. We also do some real estate. We do landlord tenant. I've helped several people if they've got tenants that aren't paying rent or causing problems. Help evict them. I've also
that's a big challenge.
It is, and there's a lot of rules that go with that. I also have helped some commercial tenants negotiate leases and try to sit down with them. And sometimes people get these big contracts that are prepared by someone else and they just sign them, and then later on they start having problems and they come to me and what they signed, they had no idea what they signed.
No.
And so we'll sit down with people and kind of go through either the lease or a construction contract and just break it down and let them know what they're signing and what they're agreeing to, so that later on things will they'll know what they're doing when they get in trouble.
The best thing for people out in radio land, we got over 90,000 listeners, and then you can watch this. 91.2 thousand listeners. If I get Tony, I love Tony, and I call Tony, how you doing? Come in and eat. And then something will happen. Somebody will bust my hump, and I'll say, Tony, and I'm on a rant. My voice goes 55 octaves high.
Tell me about him. I'm in the room.
Right?
Oh my God!
You got to take care of this, Tony. I don't want no nothing. I don't care what it costs me. Whatever. And Tony will say, now just relax, man. Take a deep breath. Okay. Say a prayer. Wear your yarmulke, and I'll have the.
Well, if you're just tuning in now, you're listening to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael.
Oh, yeah!
And we've got some fabulous guests with us. We had Merle Temple, the author of Ghostly Shade of Pale, attorney at law Tony May, and the Vegas Unwrapped team of Ricky Cash and Aaron Phillips with their hidden treasures, which we're going to be right back with. So we'll be right back after a message from our sponsor.
Call in, everybody. 731-1230. There's got to be something you want to know. Come on, lady. Get out of the bathroom and call me.
Smile. This is Sandy Kastel and Friends. Now let's bring back the host. Here is Sandy Kastel.
Hi, and welcome back to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. You know what? We've got the team from Unwrapped, Vegas Unwrapped, and they are going to give us the hidden treasures. Hi, guys.
Hi there.
Ricky
Good morning.
Cash and Aaron Phillips, and of course Chef Michael hanging out over there.
By the way, I have to jump back to Passover.
Passover?
Yeah, because I went to all of his Seder's, and his wife, Robin, makes absolutely the best matzo ball soup in the country.
When they float.
They float.
Now she's got them floating.
Yeah, they float. And then,
The secret is seltzer in the mix. That's what makes the matzo balls rise.
That's cool.
Unbelievable.
That's cool.
Anyway, thank you.
You know what? You've got an accent, Ricky. Where is your accent from?
Saskatchewan,
Say that.
Canada.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where it's from?
Actually,
I've been to Regina, Saskatchewan.
Figures.
there's a certain tone from Brooklyn, New York, where you roll your R's, all are R's. You know, like I'll spell the name Tina, Tina, right? But it's really, when I say it, it's Tiner.
Tiner, yeah.
Tiner, yeah.
Cool.
So,
Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt.
no, that's fine.
Go ahead,
Don
let's hear
Rickles
about
do
these
a
hidden
stick with that
treasures.
one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, kick us off.
Okay, well, we call it Unwrapped Treasures, and we can call it Hidden Treasures. We can call
Unwrapped
No,
Treasures.
we can call it anything you like.
Just
but,
don't call it treasures.
But
that
you
could
know,
be a lawsuit.
we have the Poets Corner, ages 17 plus, hosted by Keith Brantley. It's Friday, August 15th at 7:30. It's free and open to the public. It's at the West Las Vegas Art Center Community Gallery at 947 West Lake Mead Boulevard. For more information, give them a call at 702-229-4800. This is a monthly forum of poets, and they get together, and it's a pretty cool deal.
I'm not a poet, so
You would know it.
I wouldn't know it.
Here we go.
Now, if you like music, down on Fremont Street, Deep Purple will be in concert this Friday. So after you're done at the Poets Corner, go down to Fremont Street, 9 p.m. It's at the 3rd Street stage down at Fremont Street, and you know what the price of admission is?
I bet you it's free.
It is free. Just come on down to Fremont Experience for another great Rock of Vegas free concert.
You know, I got to pull out a shameless plug. I'm going to miss all of these things this weekend because I'm going back east. My daughter Jamie is getting married on Sunday.
Oh,
You should be playing taps in the
I have to
background.
throw that out there.
We should be playing taps then for in the background.
Anyway, Ward 5 Back to School Fair is this Saturday, August 16th from 8 to 4 p.m. It's free and open to Ward 5 residents. It's going to be at Lorenzo Park. That's 3333 West Washington Avenue. And if you want more information on that, give them a call at 702-229-5443.
Yeah, and then after that, head on down to Pavilion Center Pool, 101 South Pavilion Center Drive up in Summerlin for Dine-In Movie Night. Good for all ages, Saturday, August 16th. Doors open at 7:30. Showtime is 8 p.m. The best part here, Mr. Cash, for only $3. Take a dip in the pool. You can lounge on a raft, wherever you want to do, and watch a movie from the pool. How cool is that?
That is extremely cool.
That's way cool.
I hope it'll be available the following week.
For more information, call 702-229-6309.
You know what's going on over at at the district at Green Valley Ranch. This idea of having the outdoor movie nights has been absolutely packed. This week they're doing it again, Saturday, August 16th at 8 p.m. and they're going to show E.T.
There's a classic.
Now they've done it once before, but obviously the demand was so great that they're doing it again. Free admission. Come to the Green next to the Whole Foods at the district to enjoy the free family movie. Sorry, folks, no alcohol or glass is allowed. Bring chairs, blankets, and enjoy the evening under the stars.
Absolutely. Now, how many people want to look to complete their family with a pet?
Wow.
I know you probably would want to give up a couple of yours.
I can't go to these things.
Pet adoptions this Sunday, August 17th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. over at Tivoli Village, 302 South Rampart Boulevard. They're going to be held inside a store called Where Else? The Doghouse.
Good grief.
So head over there from 11 a.m. to 2. Extraordinary animals will be on display and available for your adoption purposes.
Now, I'll tell you what, if you haven't gotten enough pool parties this weekend, on Sunday you can go to the Beach Party Splash. All ages, Sunday, August 17th from noon to 6. Only costs $3. You go over to the municipal pool at 431 East Bonanza Road, and I gotta tell you, they really have some good stuff going on. Besides the pool, they have games, dancing, and live music. Call for more information, 702-229-6309.
Now, if you want to learn more about Vintage Vegas, Sunday, August 17th at 2 p.m., if you want to get out of the heat, down at the main theater at the Clark County Library at 1401 East Flamingo Road, author David Schwartz. Schwartz be with you.
May the Schwartz be with you.
He spoke about the gaming development on the Las Vegas Strip, originally back in July. Well, now, part 2, Schwartz will talk about how gaming came about in metropolitan properties and unconventional establishments like supermarkets and gas stations, and how that has helped the economy. For more information, call 702-507-3458.
Now, I got to tell you, the next one is definitely for the 60-plus crowd, right? Because it's Intro to Computers. All of us that are above that age, it's like a nightmare trying to work it out. So
Your VCR is still blinking midnight, isn't it?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, that VCR, I can't get it
it's
to
a
work.
love-hate relationship,
Absolutely.
I know, because you have to have it.
You have to.
You have to embrace the technology.
Same thing with the phones, yeah.
It's nuts. But here you go.
Okay.
Sunday, August 17th at 2 p.m. Call Computer Center at the Clark County Library, 1401 East Flamingo Road in Las Vegas. This class covers basic computer usage and terminology, as well as a brief overview on how to use Microsoft Word. And I'll tell you what, I've attended 3 of these, and it's really helped.
All right.
You guys are laughing. Oh, my
gosh. Yeah, because we know the truth.
One more. Yeah, what he does is he calls
Well,
Phillips.
I've been
That's what
working
he
with
does.
my dad a little bit, and we got him a new laptop that was a Mac, and I said, well, I'm going to get him a Mac so I can help him, and stuff. And I tell you, I've been over there a lot.
See what happens when you open yourself up to help.
I know.
Last one for me, Mr. Cash. No Limits for Deaf Children, Sunday, August 17th at 6 p.m. This is at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, Philip J. Cohen Theater, 4505 South Maryland Parkway. No Limits presents its latest production of Building Blocks. This is an original show where Joey becomes disheartened when he fails to make the basketball team, but learns that he can overcome this and any of life's obstacles. Tickets are $15 at the door, only $10 if you RSVP early. 10 and under is only $5. Give them a call at 310-280-0878 or check them out on the website for your tickets, building-blocks.invitebright.com for more tickets or information.
So tell me, this Philip J. Cohen Theater,
Yes.
is he a relative of our friend Philip A. Cohen?
Very, very, very distant. So distant to other worlds.
I gotcha. All right, so here's the last one for me, and I'll tell you something. This one is co-sponsored by Nevada Senior Services, and they do an amazing job. It's called Caregiver Support Services. It's a free workshop for the caregivers. You listening, Michael?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm watching him hold that microphone down there.
I'm gonna have trouble getting through this.
Go ahead.
Actually, it's being held at the library over at East Flamingo, 1401 East Flamingo. And being a caregiver of someone who's aged, disabled, or chronically ill can be an overwhelming and huge responsibility.
Yeah.
This 3-part series is tailor-made for caregivers on all levels, and of course, caregiving to provide emotional support, a chance to share experience and frustrations, and learn tips and techniques to overcome difficulties on the job. So this is a 3-part series. If you're in a situation where you're forced to be a caregiver,
Right.
this is something that you should definitely look
And
into.
it's no laughing matter, really.
No, of course not.
I was just laughing at Michael. But it's
Aren't we all?
it's no laughing matter because, a lot of times, especially at our age right now, or any age, what happens is, our parents, either a sibling or a spouse, and you may be put in that position where you have to help to take care of them, and you don't want to really send them somewhere else. You want to be there to take care of them and be there for them.
Your dad,
Yes.
my future father-in-law, I said, Pop, I will take care of you as long as I'm in the will.
Yeah, and he said, well, as long as you make those peppers. Well, you're supposed to turn that thing off, Michael. So is that it?
That's it for us.
That does
That
it for our
was Ricky
segment.
Cash and Aaron Phillips with Unwrapped Treasures, that otherwise known as Hidden Treasures.
There you go.
That's what it is on the Sandy Kastel show. I like it.
The thing of it is there are so many treasures here in Las Vegas, and a lot of people don't really know. And especially, even living here, a lot of the locals, there's so many things, so many opportunities for people to get involved in the community and do some of these events. And would you send that over to Diane Fox so she can post that up on our Facebook so we can actually share that with our listeners?
Absolutely.
Okay?
That would
They
be
can actually
great.
see the text
I wanna
of
give
what
it-
those things are and remind them. Yes, Chef Michael, what would you like to say?
I want to give a quick shout out because we got to
Okay.
get back to Tony May, my buddy,
I know.
The Grossos, the billionaires. I always mention them all the time. We went to see them last night, and Carl for Lisa has more shoes than Imelda Marcos.
Oh my God! No,
Unbelievable, right, honey? They put a brand
beautiful closet.
Beautiful closet.
It's beautiful. It's done in maple. You know, it's natural maple. And you walk in, and what they did is they expanded the closet in the master suite, and it was another room. It was a little meditation room or something like that. And so they just expanded it. So it was an extra, 20 feet of shoes all the way across the wall, and it's absolutely stunning. It goes from floor to ceiling. She's going to have a ladder that you can get up. You know, the library
like
ladder.
In the bookstores,
the library ladder.
Yeah,
Yes.
library ladder.
Yeah, so you can climb
imagine.
up and go to the top, because for ladies it's tough. We put all our shoes in the shelves and stuff, and then women have to have more shoes than men do, because men only need black and brown and gray
And one pair of sneakers.
and one pair of or a dozen pair of sneakers, and that's it. I mean, so for women, we have to have different shoes for different outfits. We have shoes for our shorts, shoes for our dresses, shoes for our pants, suits for our thing. I mean, it's true. And you have to have different heights. You have to have a black shoe that has a low heel. You have to have one that has a high heel with your short dresses, and so we have to have a lot of shoes.
All right, a quick tip.
And defensive women.
A quick tip.
And their shoes.
If you go to Smith Food Kings, the lemons
You can't get shoes there.
Yes, you can.
Oh, you can?
Yes. The lemons are 69 cents.
Oh, my
Ladies and
gosh.
gentlemen, listen to me. Don't buy those big lemons, because you can't get no juice out of them. Find the smallest lemon you can find. Make sure it's soft.
And roll it on the.
Make sure it's soft.
thing,
You can
the
grab
counter,
it.
yeah.
Because I'm telling you, I bought 8 lemons. Shut your phone off, Tony!
Oh, now you tell him to, even though you didn't.
And what happens is, really and seriously, get yourself the small lemons. They got all the juice. And real quick before we go, because Tony may, I know he wants something. He wants to say something.
Well, I know, but we got to take a quick break.
Well, I don't want to take a break.
Well,
I don't want to take a break. All right, I got to take a break.
okay, if you're just tuning in to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael and Tony May, attorney at law, and Ricky Cash and Aaron Phillips of Vegas Unwrapped. And also we had our very special guest, Merle Temple, the author of that book. We'll be right back.
This is Sandy Kastel and Friends. Here again, your host, Sandy Kastel.
Hi, and welcome back to Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. And, I just want to thank you, all of our guests, for being here. The author of Ghostly Shade of Pale, Merle Temple. What a great thing, that he's being compared already to Grisham. And that's a big thing. That's a big thing as a new author. And also attorney at law, Tony May. And of course, the Vegas Unwrapped team of Ricky Cash and Aaron Phillips with their Unwrapped treasures. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing that with us today. So, Tony, tell us a little bit about contracts and why it's so important to read all of the fine print.
Hey, I'd like to say one thing before you were talking a little bit about shoes, and it just kind of hit me.
I digress. He digresses.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
No, that's okay. It's a good topic.
One of my daughters came in the other day, and she has a tendency to use my other daughter's shoes, and so my wife was kind of inquisiting, talking to her about why she wore those shoes, and she made this weird comment like the shoes had to match her like clothes.
Yeah.
And as a guy, I don't think that's ever came to my mind ever, that my shoes actually have to match what I'm wearing, and so that's pretty much a foreign concept. So
it is a foreign concept, and I got to tell Michael thinks that his shoes match his outfits, but not the color necessarily, because he'll come out in a black suit and he's got white shoes on. Those banana shoes, is that what they're called, the banana shoes?
I'm not saying nothing. I got my lawyer here.
I got to tell you.
Sonia, if we get a divorce, can you represent us? You can't represent me or her, do you?
Michael is
take
the
the fifth, Michael.
sharpest
Take the
dressed
fifth.
man
Yes,
in
man.
all of Las Vegas, and the women will attest to that, because he has had women come up to him and say, "Oh my God, would you tell my husband how to dress? Please teach my husband how to dress." I'm serious.
That's the truth.
It's no lie. So, Tony, tell us about contracts and why it's so important
Well,
to read the fine print.
As we talked earlier, a lot of people go and they sign contracts, and like when I'm in big construction contracts, if you're doing negotiations, sometimes they can be 80, 90 pages long, and people will go and they look at the number, how much they're going to get paid, and then they sign the contract.
Right.
And then later something happens and they get sued, and they're asked to indemnify the other party and pay for their attorney fees and their costs, and and they get upset. You know, why in the world do I have to pay for that? And then the guy turns around and turns on page like 76 and at the bottom, and he says, "Oh, see this provision right here that you have to pay for everything."
In other words, you didn't pay attention.
Correct.
When you were signing the document.
And so, you know, to me, it's if you don't know what you're signing, it's very problematic because you don't really know what the scope is, and the price that you put down for your contract for your services needs to reflect what liabilities you're assuming.
So basically, you're talking about the actual contractor. You're helping with the contracts.
Correct, and
the
like
contracts that they put together for the people to sign.
Correct.
Okay.
And you know, a lot of times if you get a contract from a big party and they've sat down, they've paid thousands of dollars for their lawyer to prepare the contract, you better believe that contract protects them.
Okay, all right. So that's a great thing. So you help people with putting together the contract. The contractors actually put together their contracts.
Let me. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Let me say something real quick for those people that are out there. Tony doesn't charge for consultation. Am I right, Tony?
For the bankruptcy consultation, we do a free consultation. For normal consultations, we usually give like a discounted fee. My normal billing rate in my office right now is $275 an hour, but we usually do like a $200 initial consultation fee, where we sit down and kind of analyze the situation and figure out exactly what we can do to help, and then provide. Sometimes we can let them know exactly what to do at that point and they move on. Other times when they need our services, then we'll enter into an agreement and move forward and assist them.
Well, Tony, I know you also help set up businesses, and it's very important. You do the Nevada corporations for them, LLCs, corporations, S Corps, C Corps, whatever kind of corps.
Correct.
Right? And you also work with them and help them to set up the business properly in the beginning, right?
Yes, it's very important. If the reason why you do a corporation and set up the corporation is to separate your personal assets from the business. And so if you set up the corporation correctly, and something happens, you know, heaven forbid, something happens later on and you get sued, they can sue the company, but they can't sue your personal assets. But it's important that it's set up correctly, and it's also important. There's certain requirements that you have to do as a corporation to show that you are a distinct, separate entity. And a lot of people, they'll just go and they file the paperwork and they just move on, and then later when they get sued, you know, they find out that they're being sued personally because they haven't kept any of the corporate, you know, responsibilities, and they haven't done what they're supposed to. And that's very problematic if you think that you're, you know, secure and no one can sue you personally, and then later they do. It's better that you sit down and figure out exactly what you're supposed to do, and follow the rules, and then you can, you know, be almost assured that you're not going to get sued personally for company issues.
Oh, okay. And also you have lease, you do a lot with lease agreements.
Yes, I mean, if anyone is going to enter into a lease agreement and they just don't understand what they're signing, what they're agreeing to, you know, if they come by my office, we can sit down with them and kind of explain what they're getting into. If you're an owner of and you want to make sure your lease complies with the law, or if you want to make sure that you're fully protected, you know, you can come by and we can sit down and kind of make sure that everything's there to fully protect you.
So Tony, is that also for corporate and for residential?
For both, for business and for residential.
Yeah, because we're getting ready. We've been talking to some people about doing something at a building, and so we'll be going into that, you know. And also, I have my real estate license, you know, so it does help. You know, that's a whole different kind of thing.
Yes,
too. So, well, I want to thank you for being on the show today, and I just wanted to let everybody know that Tony May is for a lot of your civil needs, but I didn't even know what civil needs meant, you know. So contracts for the contractors, and setting up businesses, Nevada corporations, and helping you set up your business properly, and also lease agreements, so that you make sure that when you sign a lease, you know exactly what you're signing. And how are we doing, Ryan? 30 seconds?
Tonight.
30 seconds. Okay, tonight we're going to be there join us tonight at Sienna's Authentic Italian Trattoria for my special edition of Jazz and Cocktails with featured guests Michael Leonetti, Jimmy Molador, David DaCosta, and more, with Chad Michaels on piano, Spider on bass, Joey Vespi on drums, and the Vegas Unwrapped team there to interview you. So if you're coming tonight, you must call and make a reservation, please. 702-360-3358. 702-360-3358. And this is Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. And Chef Michael?
Yes, and don't forget, Carl, come on tonight and spend some money, you cheap bastard. Spend some of your money.
So we'll see you tonight at Sienna's, and we'll be back tomorrow morning on KLIV for Sandy Kastel and Friends Variety Show with Chef Michael. Have a wonderful day.
Danke.